Thank you, Chair. And as ex-chair of this Constitutional Affairs Committee, I would like to remind all of us, but I'm sure that the old members of AFCO remember that the first discussion we had on potential at that time Brexit was the very beginning of September 2015, when we had Charles Grant and Jean-Claude Piris just discussing the risks of potential Brexit, and still hoping that this is just a potential risk. And here we are, just 4.5 years later. I just got message that we already have the assent of Her Majesty, so the withdrawal bill has become a law. And we are now also in AFCO beginning to formalize, to finalize actually our own procedure on the EU side. And it is indeed, as those who spoke already said, it is a very emotional moment for all of us. And I'm also sure that our House will continue to be constructive, as we were in all 5 resolutions that Guy mentioned. We will be constructive in our approach, and we will give the consent to the Council decision on concluding the withdrawal agreement with UK through our vote today, and then later on the 29th through our vote in the plenary. And I also understand that tomorrow in Brussels the withdrawal agreement will be signed by the 2 presidents, Charles Michel and Ursula von der Leyen, and then I understand it will be taken to London to be signed. And as many of us, I do regret that our British colleagues and friends will be leaving the EU at the end of this month. And I also do hope that EU citizens in UK, but also British nationals here on the continent, will not pay the price of Brexit. And I would also like to use this opportunity to thank profoundly all our colleagues from the Parliament administration. They have worked very hard with us to make this political, very sad and painful process go as smooth as possible, supporting and also facilitating our efforts as members of European Parliament. But of course, as also Guy said and Antonio before, our work with the vote today in this committee, in my view, is not over. The Parliament's task will be to deal with the 3 strands of further work over the coming months. And the first strand will be, of course, the negotiations of the future relationship with the UK. These will be certainly tough negotiations, and what we lacked also in the past very often, which is time, the time factor will also play here an extremely important role. We will just have 8 months practically to finalize the talks. And I am also sure that our priority as EPP has always been the association agreement. I think in most, if not in all resolutions, we talked about association agreement with Article 217 as the legal base. And actually, this is still my hope, and I think this would be the best possible solution. And then the second strand of our work in the months to come is what Guy mentioned, the actual implementation of the withdrawal agreement, and also ensuring that both the UK and the EU faithfully implement all the provisions. And our House will especially keep an eye on making sure that our citizens in the UK and British nationals here will not have the rights taken away from them, and Guy elaborated on all those rights. But I also believe, and here I'm also referring to Chair, to Antonio Tajani, I believe that the Constitutional Affairs Committee should be responsible for coordinating the European Parliament oversight of the implementation of the withdrawal agreement, in particular the Irish protocol, but I think all the elements of the governance for which AFCO was directly responsible. And the third strand will deal with potential contingency measures, something I hope will not be necessary. But we have the position of the UK government on not wanting to extend the transition period, so the possibility of a no deal, of another cliff edge on the 1st of January next year exists there. And I think we need to be prepared also for such an eventuality. but we will know more about this cliff edge risks around the 1st of July, when the date which is envisaged for the decision on the extension of the transition period, this date will come. So it is my sincere hope that we can find an agreement on the best possible future relationship between EU and UK. And I would like to say on behalf of my political group, the EPP, that we want to express support for the decision that has been made, and will support also the vote on consent that is our task today. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Danuta. Only for your information, Elizabeth, the Queen, signed the British law on the Brexit. Per il gruppo socialista, l'onorevole Luis de Vesa.